firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here at the ballpark. We moved the whole Stifel studio over here today because we're here at the ballpark. So we have this big array. It's a very impressive studio, the Stifel studio. You know, when we take this thing on the road, it takes maybe part of a tractor trailer to undo everything and have all the people set it up. It's really cool, and because we're on radio, I guess you can't see it, but just take my word for it. It's really a nice thing. It's a really cool thing. All right. Yesterday was a big day for the Cardinals because we had the amateur draft that took place, and we've had so many great players that have come through the draft, and one of the ones that we look at now, Jordan Walker, the All-Star, who was drafted in 2020 along with Mason Wynn. That was a pretty good draft class for the Cardinals. And we're seeing the fruits of that draft on the field every day. Yesterday, the Cardinals went back to the draft. They picked 13th. I think they have 7 picks in the first day. And they have some other players that we'll get into a little later as far as people who will eventually and hopefully be big contributors to the Cardinal organization for years to come. But we had a chance to hear from Randy Flores, who has, here's the deal. I am really pulling for Randy Flores. I hope, and this is a good thing, that this is Randy Flores' last draft. Not because he's not good at it, because he's very good at it, but Randy Flores should be running his own ball club. He was a former player, well-educated at USC, a master's degree. He understands scouting. He understands every element of baseball when it comes to running an organization. He worked, obviously, under John Mozeliak for a number of years. And whenever you have a chance to engage with Randy Flores, you just say to yourself, wow, this guy's pretty sharp. And he is. He's sharp as a scalpel. And I'm hoping that when this offseason rolls around, there will be some organization that will be smart enough, Angels, that could bring him in and maybe turn their organization around and move him in the right direction. But I'd love to have him around as long as we can. But yesterday we had a chance to hear from him and talk about the Cardinals' 2026 first-round draft choice.
Appreciate you guys making some time. It's been a great day. Obviously a long day. We always say that after a draft, but with the new format in 4 rounds in one day, plus the most picks, I think, of any team, I think it was a day that at the end we hope our scouts get some rest, ready to turn the page and get after it tomorrow. That being said, we're excited about the opportunity we had today with those picks. We think that we did a good job of being opportunistic when some of those bats got to us, maybe when we didn't think, that had some good contact and some power. I don't think that many people expected Coons to get to our second pick. And then just on our board, the excitement we had across multiple departments, from our scouting department, our analytics department, and our player development department, regarding Trevor Condon getting to us at 13 is something that we were really excited for.
I know you've just talked on TV and radio about these players.
Yeah.
Sorry to make you repeat it, but Coons is fascinating for St. Louis Cardinals fans because you got 2 Tennessee pitchers last year too.
Yeah.
Is that just a coincidence?
No, that's going to be an affiliate for us. So it's going to be, yeah. Well,
congrats.
That's the next thing, and so yeah, we dipped in that well again. But I think that just the way that they are prepping their players for the professional game, the ability to get the most out of their horsepower and their velocity. Also, all 3 have unique fastballs, and Coons certainly fits that. And then our PD group, on top of our scouts liking them, really thought that they had a chance to create some more shapes and complement that fastball.
Condon talked about the opportunity to kind of get to know some of the different folks from within the Cardinals during the lead up, and said, he was thrilled to have landed here. What did you guys like about him most when it comes to the stuff that doesn't necessarily show on the diamond, the off the field, the personality, the exuberance that he kind of shows?
Yeah, I think that exuberance is authentic. I think he really just loves the game. He's the type who wakes up every day to try to get the most out of himself. He's single-minded focus and purpose. And you can get there very serious and very stoic and very intense, and you can get there with joy and with love and with smiles and with excitement. And I think that's a great pairing for him. We had a chance to get around him at a private workout, and sometimes those kids, when you have 50 people watching you, they clam up a little bit, or they're reclusive. And he wasn't over the top. He just honestly was having a blast. And you want people who have a blast playing this game. And so then we had the scouting combine, and you get a chance to interview the players one-on-one. We just called them in, and we didn't even interview them. We just wanted 30 minutes to hang with them because we had already felt like we were at a good spot on getting to know who he was, and certainly, you guys will get a chance to meet him here in the weeks, months, and years ahead.
His exact description was that you guys spent that time cracking jokes.
You guys don't know me very well. I would never do that. I'm never a different guy behind the camera than in front of the camera. But yeah, we did have some fun.
What should we look into? I know the draft is hard to predict, but you have a sophomore eligible guy. You have one of the younger college players who's 20, and you take possibly the youngest player you've ever taken at 17 in 2 months. Is there a trend there? Is there something that you guys are willing to do that you really like about the age, when possible?
So I'll just go with Rocco Mascalco specifically as the youngest player. If you have a chance to be around him, there's a maturity to him. It's someone who reclassified, not for fun. It was someone who was on a mission to try to put himself in position to start his pro career as quickly as possible. He has baseball bloodlines as well. This is someone who's been around the game. And then it's just not young and hope. He has current tools. There's current bat speed, there's current strength, there's current arm speed, there's current defensive ability. So the age was just a bonus, for us when you already have someone there. We always ask our scouts to put their imagination hat on, and that is, this kid, Rocco, should be playing this summer in the summer circuit against age comparable players. But instead he played a level up, and even then he excelled, and at minimum held his own. That's someone who we just think is unafraid for the challenge ahead, unafraid for the grind of pro ball, and we can't wait for our PD group to get their hands on him.
Are you confident that he's going to sign with you all?
I'm hopeful. Barring surprise, we're hopeful that he'd sign. Yeah.
Overall, it's easy for us to ask a question like this.
It's okay. It's your job.
Thank you. Is there a theme to your 7 picks? Is there a way you look at it and be like, oh, this worked out this way or that way?
The theme, I would say, is that we were prepared. One of the things about the later draft date is that it seems like the scouting season goes forever and ever. But you really do have so much more information than we did 5 years ago and 10 years ago. And now it's, what do teams do with that information? Is there true collaboration? Is there processes that try to integrate different voices? Is there a time to change your opinion on a player even? When the draft is 5 days after the season ends, there's no time really to kind of examine with a fine microscope whether or not you really, really feel how you do on that initial report. And I think our group has been very, very intentional. And the theme is that we were as prepared as we can be for how that draft board shook out.
And one more on Coons is, how is he a different pitcher this season for Tennessee than the previous season?
We think he sustained his velocity a lot better. He also talked about not letting the moment get the most of him. Those guys play under an intense microscope. Those games are packed, on the road. It is vicious. And I don't care how mentally strong you are or tough you are, you got to go and experience that. And you talk about the scars of the game prepare you for the future in the game. And I think that he has some scars and some growing up and some learning to do to prep him to handle that load this year. And we thought he handled that with aplomb.
Randy Flores, the director of scouting and assistant general manager for the St. Louis Cardinals, talking about a couple of the draft choices and the whole process that takes place with regard to selecting these players. And it's changed a lot, whereas you heard him talk about the combine. It's amazing to me that baseball was the last organization that actually would have a combine where you can gather all the players, the prospects in one place and get a chance to actually get to know them a little better, the medicals, and have a chance to see what they're all about physically and just, they're who they are. The NFL's been doing this for over 40 years. NBA's had it for at least 40 years. I mean, every sport has had this combine, this gathering of players, and Major League Baseball decided in 2026 this was a good idea. Okay. Well, now they have it, then we're good. And that's a good thing, and hopefully you'll have a better idea of who you're drafting and what players you have an interest in. We're going to take our first break, or our second break, so to say, and we're going to come back and visit with the voice of St. Louis University, and he is the Rammer, Bob Ramsey, and that comes your way next here on KMOX.
Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair is offering 50% off labor on qualifying projects. If you're seeing cracks, leaks, or sinking concrete around your home, don't wait. Let the Helitech experts identify the problem and provide proven solutions to protect your home and your investment. Call Helitech or visit helitechonline.com to schedule your free inspection today.
Heal your home with Helitech.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler here for FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of KMOX. And I like to joke, and I say it all the time, like my work with FanDuel Sportsbook goes well beyond the time that it came online in Missouri. I used to have to travel to play. Not anymore. Now I get to play at home, and you can too, whether it's baseball season, whether it's hockey, basketball, football, and now soccer. On the biggest stage of the world, FanDuel is stepping up. They are changing the game because sometimes the player you've got gets subbed off and your bet goes off with them, but not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. So that's right. So if your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you're still in it to the final whistle. No need to go anywhere. You just hang in there. You still got your shot. But visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to get yourself started. Super easy to do. And let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Just remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
KMOX Weekend at your service. Sponsored by Air Comfort Service, Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering for Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Celebrate the month of July with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129. Get your air ducts cleaned for $599 per unit. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and take advantage of the savings. That's ZeroResSTL.com.
Hi, this is Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes, and this is it. Make no mistake, this is your last chance to live in Summerlin and O'Fallon and save big on the 2 remaining market homes. Not only do you save over $50,000 off the price of the home, but you can also take advantage of special 4.75% financing for those that qualify. Visit McKelveyHomes.com. Isn't it time to move up to McKelvey?
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Look at that! Stolen away by Thames. Here he goes to the hole. Jam time! Kellen Thames. He stole it, sauntered to the rim, and stared down Arangaran as he went up for the jam.
Yeah, he was mad because he went under that screen. And taking another timeout.
Timeout, Caputo. Take a TOGW. You're trailing 70-67.
The dulcet tones of the voice of St. Louis University. He is Bob Ramsey. And we have him on KMOX this morning. Rammer, how are you, man? It's good to talk to you.
Mike, it's great to hear your voice, although while I was on vacation, I was able to listen to your voice and John and Rick on KMOX following the Cardinals. So I feel like I've been listening to you every day. So how are you?
I'm doing well. It's always good to hear from you. Vacation went well. You took your annual tour of Colorado and hung out with the family, I'm sure. How did everything go?
Everything was great, and we've been the last 2 summers traveling without the kids. They're all grown now, and it was really, really nice. You know that highlight, it was funny, and you chuckled, but you know what was great? The best thing about that highlight? Earl Austin Jr., my partner, for those who don't know, here on KMOX, that quick little, he was mad at him for going under the screen. I mean, and it was just a little thing. He didn't belabor and try and break down the whole play, but kind of let you know what was happening. That's why Earl is so great.
He is, you know what? He is one of the true treasures we have in St. Louis. As Rick Wallace used to say, if the kid's got game, then Earl knows his name. But there's a whole lot more to Earl Austin Jr. than most people have never had a chance to experience. And for him to be part of what we do here in St. Louis, he's in the Hall of Fame. He's everything to so many people, and it's always good to hear Earl, because once he gets worked up, man, once you turn him loose, it's a wrap. I mean, he really puts everything into it, and it's always good to have him here, certainly here on KMOX. Ran into Chris May last night, and just talking to him about all the good things that are happening in St. Louis U, but you've been doing Billiken basketball forever. I'm not sure if I've ever heard about 2,000 people showing up to watch a summer practice as Josh Schertz conducted here recently. The Billiken bug has bitten a lot of people in St. Louis with regard to the basketball program and certainly the other sports programs. But when it comes to basketball and what took place in the tournament and the momentum that continues to build with a good recruiting class of people coming in, man, this is a fun time to get on the wagon.
Yeah, it really is. And in the middle of the summer, talking college hoops shows you how infectious that interest is, and I think it's going to be as we go from here into November. There's going to be a lot going on. I think the guys get back to practice tomorrow. They had the 4th of July off. They were off for 10 days or 2 weeks while I was gone. Been to practice, 4 or 5 times in June, as this has now become basically a year-round effort for college basketball. The Billikens are no different. So they'll get back at it. Steep learning curve for new guys, and it's going to be interesting to see how things work out. One of the many things that I'm really excited about, Mike, is the continued ascendancy of Kellen Thames. The local guy from Pattonville High School, and he was really basically the best sixth man in the country last year. And I think I think this is sort of his turn, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think Kellen is going to be a dominant force for the Billikens in the Atlantic 10, And I'm really, really excited about that. But, the usual suspects are back. And to be fair and objective, here's the one thing that we all should keep an eye on. Who is going to take the place of the cooler? Who's going to take the place of the guy running the show?
Yeah.
And that's Robbie Avila. And people say, why do you call him the cooler? Because when there was too much heat and he was out, you could see Josh have to go back to Robbie and get him in. It's clear that the team ran things better when Robbie was on the floor. So does a person sort of take on that role of keeping everything in control and running efficiently, or does it become a unit that does all those things, which is probably a better way to go anyway? And so we'll see how that works out. But I think that's one of the things that if folks can go to practice, read about practice, and as we get into October and have a scrimmage or so, those are the things I think to keep an eye on.
That's a great point you make about who calms things down, and we saw it. You saw it all season long, but the tournament really pointed it out as far as that impact that he had, and his demeanor was one that he never panicked. I mean, he was always the guy that says, all right. And I see him one day being a very good coach somewhere because he really understood the game beyond his years. And he's going to get a crack. He'll go into the Laker camp and be part of that. And where it goes from here, who knows? But I see him on a bench somewhere down the road because this guy had a basketball IQ far beyond most of the people he plays with and against.
You and I have been thinking alike for over 40 years.
That's kind of scary for the rest of the world. that they
sure
put us
is.
in a room together.
Oh, look out. Don't put us in charge of anything.
No.
He's the smartest player, and with no disrespect to the players I've seen for 40 years, he's the smartest player the Billikens have ever had. And there's been a lot of smart ones come through, but he is the smartest. And selfishly, I wish he'd say, I'm gonna come work for Coach Sertz this year. But he's got a lot of basketball to play yet.
Oh yeah.
But someday you're right. If he chooses to, he's going to be a great coach.
It won't be long before, I don't know if we'll ever pick up the media game again, where folks back in the day, the media would play on Wednesdays at the old gym at St. Louis University on the campus. You didn't want to see this in person, trust me. But we would all be out playing pickup, and there was one guy, he had one move. Pump fake, dribble drive right, reverse layup, basket. And for some reason, nobody can stop by Ramsey. So I'm thinking maybe on the senior circuit, Robbie can come back and maybe we can go half court with him for maybe 3 dribbles.
What's great about those days, it kind of leads into the way Robbie plays.
Yes.
Because when we played slow is us. I used to say when he'd make one of those patented multi-moves, kind of working his way to the basket, where I would say El paso de Avila es pero lento aplastante, which means the pass of the Avila is slow but crushing. And it's one of my favorite things watching him when he would do, he'd have it 10, 15 feet away from the basket, a little crossover, head fake, drop step, up and under, and then kind of finally lay it in. And all these unbelievable athletes just couldn't stop him. He was for the 2 years that Robbie was at SLU, he was such a delight and a tremendous person to be around. I miss him already. And he was one of the really in modern Billiken times, he's the best center the Bills have had too. So for many reasons, we're going to miss him and root for him in the NBA or the G League or wherever he ends up.
Your English is good, and so is your Spanish. 98% of the people listening have no idea where that line came from. But anyway, you and I haven't really talked about this a great deal, and I talked to Josh Schertz about it one time. The night against Georgia, where when you looked up at the clock and you saying to yourself, you know what, we're winning by 40 against an SEC
Yeah.
team that was considered a pretty good team, you know, and you've been at this for a long time. And where does that stack up for you in your career? And you've done everything St. Louis U has to offer from a sports standpoint, volleyball, women's basketball, you name it, soccer, everything. But where does that stand out for you with regard to your broadcasting career and your association with St. Louis University?
You know, I think what was important about that game was that it sort of sent a message to those who cover the game and other teams around the country that this is not just a mid-major who's happy to be there. And being able to take apart a multi-talented, unbelievably athletic, which is, you could say, for about almost any SEC team, one of the great, arguably the best conference in college athletics, quite frankly, and to take them apart systematically and make it really a beatdown. The message it sent, I think, was great. And we're seeing the effects of that, not only with that game, but also keeping it close with Michigan in the next game.
Yeah.
It has allowed Josh Schertz and the staff to put together one of the best non-conference schedules coming up, because teams are saying, okay, this is going to be a quad one game for us, win or lose. And so all those things matter. The ramifications of that win will be felt as we go into the season. Now, you still got to handle your business. You can't live on one game the year before, right? But it sort of set up the things that are now coming in the 26-27 season. And so I think that was what was really impressive, because you didn't know going into the game what was going to happen, and to see that kind of a beatdown, you know, would I rank it at the top as far as excitement? It was really exciting and really fun, but it was such a beatdown. You think about in Spoon's first NCAA tournament here with SLU and beating Minnesota in overtime, and some of the other great games, Majerus and Lorenzo Romo, there's some other great games that go to the wire, you know. But when you look at the big picture, when you step back, that was as important a game for the program as we've had in many, many years, if not ever, in my time.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is the voice of St. Louis University. He's Bob Ramsey, and he's my best friend. And it's always great to visit with you, sir. I'll see you at the ballpark here soon once we come off this All-Star break. I'm looking forward to seeing you. And thank you for your time today, and enjoy the rest of your vacation.
You and John and Rick have kept me going all vacation. I'll see you soon.
You got it. He's Bob Ramsey. I'm Mike Claiborne. We're going to take a break and come back and talk to the voice of the St. Louis Blues. And he is Chris Kerber. He's coming up next on KMOX.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, bone cancer. Dr. Angela Herbie.
New pain that's persistent and unexplained, or any lump that's bigger than the size of a golf ball, should raise concern and trigger someone to talk to their doctor. And if you notice a lump, this is especially true if that lump is starting to grow and change size quickly, as in over weeks.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear. It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples. That was easy. Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
The new Omaha Steak Store is now open in Baldwin at 15305 Manchester Road in Central Plaza. Stop in today and save 50% store-wide on legendary steaks, burgers, and more. Plus, get doorbuster deals starting at just $19.99. Discover the Omaha Steaks difference today at the new store at Central Plaza in Baldwin.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Bakery owners, you will be loved today. Every pastry will be flaky. Your cake will make a child's day. Your delivery van won't get sideswiped by a distracted garbage truck driver. But if so, breathe easy, knowing you'll get back to business quickly with Progressive protecting your commercial auto. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Charlie Brennan here with a happy 35th anniversary to John and Cindy Morelli, who started Morelli Tuck Pointing in 1991. They were later joined by their daughter Deanna and her husband Julian. As of today, the Morellis have won every award possible for the tuck pointing industry. The BBB Torch Award, the Next Door Neighbor Fave Award, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. When you're out in the yard or on your patio, take a look over your brick, stone, and mortar joints on your walls, chimney, walkways, and retaining walls. If they need repair, Morelli would love to help. It's a good idea to do that home maintenance before leaks are created or rebuilding is necessary. We've used Morelli Tuck Pointing to work on 2 homes and have found Morelli's bids to be fair, their work is excellent, and they clean up after themselves. 314-645-1387 and MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Aging control systems can increase downtime and cybersecurity risk, especially in operations that run 24/7. Graybar helps organizations evaluate automation architectures and support the right upgrades, whether through incremental updates or full system replacements. The result is better visibility, stronger reliability, and a scalable foundation ready for what's next. Yep, Graybar does that.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. From KMOX Sports, this is the Graybar Sports on a Sunday morning. Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio.
Yep, Graybar does that. Welcome back, everybody. We continue with sports on a Sunday morning here on KMOX, and we go to the guest line. And standing by is the voice of the St. Louis Blues hockey organization, and he is Chris Kerber, fresh off of vacation. Kerbs, how are you?
Flames, I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Anytime I can talk hockey with you, it's a good day. And I get the feeling that as the Blues and Cardinals are going through this era of refitting, when you show up to training camp and all the practices that they're going to have, you better have a program and a guide, because there's a lot of new faces that are going to be part of this team this year.
Well, there are new faces, but they're not totally unfamiliar faces when you're talking, say, like about a Brandon Carlo or a Mason McTavish. But, Mike, what's fascinating to me about this is really trying to see what direction or the vision that they have for this team. And the reason I say that is with that, signing of Oscar Sundqvist announced a couple of days ago. Now it's a 2-way deal, so he can go down to the minors. And at some point I actually almost expect him to be there. Right?
Yeah.
But, I think that's, and I haven't counted. I think I'm up to 14 or 15 forwards under contract, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They typically only carry maybe 14. Now, guys are going to get hurt. And I think one thing that they are anticipating, I think every team has to be anticipating early season injuries because of the way training camp is now and the way the season's going to start. But having said that, if you had said they were just going to give the youth an opportunity I don't know that they're going out and signing a couple of these guys. I don't know that, that they're creating this kind of competition for spots. So I think that they have taken a real step saying, no, we're not messing around with this. We're going to go and do another 2 or 3 years of letting guys get their seasoning. They're going to have to come in and earn it. We've got options to put them in Springfield if they're not quite ready. And we expect this team to be competing for a playoff spot. That's my read on this.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think this also, having him, whether he's here or in Springfield, and especially if he's in Springfield with Steve Ott, he's going to have kids ready to play. He's going to show kids on what it's going to take to be in the National Hockey League on a regular basis. And when you have a guy like that, 5 years from now, one of these good players is going to say, that time I had a chance to be around Sundqvist and Steve Ott really helped me get to where I'm at. And I think it creates a culture that you're going to have in the National Hockey League, because this game is trending younger. And there are a lot of guys who are getting thrown into the fire, and maybe they don't have the real wherewithal to be able to excel like you expect them to. I think the Blues are putting themselves in a position where they're developing guys that when they get to the NHL, they're here to stay.
Well, and I want to make sure that this comment is not one that is a poor reflection on Steve Konowalchuk, who was the coach that Steve Ott replaced, or Drew Bannister, who we got to know here, and who was the coach before him. And the reason I say that is if you go back over the last few years, the players that have gone down to Springfield and gotten some seasoning, and that includes even the likes of a Jake Neighbors, right? They've come up and they've been ready to go. Their experiences have been good.
Yeah.
But I literally was just up in Western Mass. I was in Springfield for a little while. I caught up with a couple of people that are around the team, some guys that I've known for a long, long time. I trust what they see, right? And here's one of the comments that was made to me. It was a night and day difference when Steve Ott took over. He said just the all-around attitude and approach was something that the players just bought into immediately. And there was such a positive vibe, for that. And I think, and again, that's not negatively speaking of the other coaches. That really is more of where Steve Ott is and where Steve Ott was in terms of ready to take his career as a head coach, Mike. So to me, I think both Doug Armstrong and Alexander Steen are extraordinarily comfortable with Steve running that show down there, and I think that's why they'll have no problem. Look, Justin Carbonneau came in after playing junior hockey, played in 3 playoff games, right? And the way it was told to me was, there's no doubt you've got a good player here, but you could tell that even just jumping from the playoff level in the Memorial Cup playoffs of junior hockey to playoff level in the American Hockey League was a massive jump. At the same time, there's Adam Jiricek, who comes in, and Jiricek is I was told, stepped in, played every playoff game from the moment he arrived, and he was our best defenseman down there. So I think they have, and they also expect that there could be bumps in the road. So I think they've got a lot of confidence in the way the pipeline is working right now.
I like the setup. It's going to be fun this year. I can't wait for practice to start and get out and watch these guys. This is going to be a fun season for the St. Louis Blues. What's the one thing you're going to do between now and the time they drop the puck?
Well, I'm gonna rework my scorebook. I haven't put a new version together in a little while, so I'm gonna do that. We've got some other team stuff coming up. We've got a lot of planning with, on the broadcast side still on what's coming down the pike. So we've got a lot of work to do on that. I'm going to also enjoy some time down in Louisville with my daughter, who's going to be a senior down there.
Oh my goodness!
And my middle one's going to be a sophomore at My middle one's going to be a sophomore at Mizzou, so I'm going to make sure I get some time with her. And then my youngest, who is she's a sophomore. She had a great year. The Parkway West High School girls team had a terrific year, going to third in state, but she tore her ACL. So we've got ACL surgery coming up on Tuesday, and then we're going to be nursing that little one back to health. So we've got rehab, we've got hockey, we've got relaxation, and hopefully getting down to see at the ballpark so we can talk hockey even more.
I was hoping that you would have time to come by the ballpark at some point, because you and
I missed you when I was there the last week.
I know.
2 weeks ago.
I was out in the outfield somewhere. Doing that. Yeah, I'm man on the street is what it was. Curbs, I'm out of time, man, and good luck to your daughter's surgery this week. You and I will catch up here after the All-Star break for sure.
All right, yeah. Have an awesome one, Mike. Talk to you later.
Thank you, sir. He is Chris Kerber. He's the voice of the St. Louis Blues. I'm Mike Claiborne. I'm just a guy doing sports on a Sunday morning. We'll come back with hour number 2 that includes Chaim Bloom, and we'll talk some soccer as well, and Bernie Miklasz right here on The Voice, KMOX in St. Louis.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. You know, when you go to the Audiology Center, you'll see a doctor of audiology. And with us right now, Dr. Colleen Bosler. Dr. Bosler, what are some of the signs of hearing loss?
Well, it's a number of things. Sometimes loved ones notice a person asking others to repeat themselves, or the television is too loud. What people tend to notice first with hearing loss is the loss of clarity. They can hear people talking, but they cannot always understand what's being said. That's because the hearing loss can cause you to miss certain consonant sounds, and those consonant sounds give us the detail to the word. A hearing aid can help bring back those details and give you a sense of clarity that you're missing.
Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center with 3 locations in the greater St. Louis area. Call for an appointment, 636-441-7470. Online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi? For what?
Better not to know.
Get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in your price for 5 years and see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Here's a World Soccer Championship Team Spotlight, brought to you by the first ever Infiniti QX65 and by Lowe's. Members get more at Lowe's.
France is loaded with attacking firepower, headlined by a lightning-fast forward who's been the best player on the planet for years. Les Bleus' combination of individual brilliance and collective discipline makes them perpetual contenders.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The news of Senator Lindsey Graham's death at 71 has shocked Washington. President Trump tells CNN Face the Nation.
There was no better advocate. He was a fantastic advocate in the Senate, and he could do things that other people, he was able to. If I had a really big problem with a certain Democrat, he could work it out.
Senator died from what his staff called a brief and sudden illness. Now, South Carolina's governor will name a replacement for the rest of Graham's term. South Carolina Republicans will choose a new candidate to run in November's election. President Trump said the Strait of Hormuz is open, even as Iran says it's closed after the U.S. struck targets in Iran for a third straight night as a week of uncertainty about the state of the peace agreement continues. The containment of the Summit fire in Los Angeles County has grown to 15%. There are nearly 600 people under evacuation orders or warnings. Other parts of the Rocky Mountain region could experience record high temperatures today. This is ABC News. Lawmakers celebrated a new housing bill becoming law without the president's signature. ABC's Chuck Sievertson explains. The president couldn't stop the bill.
If he had vetoed it, we would have been able to override that veto.
Congresswoman Maxine Waters, California Democrat, says the law aims to reduce homelessness.
We're not only going to create opportunities for affordable housing, we're going to make sure that public housing has the resources and begin to fix up these houses.
Trump said he didn't sign the bill because Congress hasn't passed an unrelated elections bill that doesn't have enough votes in the Senate to pass. That's ABC's Chuck Sievertson. In Vietnam, 15 tourists from India were killed after a boat returning from a trip in the southern part of the country capsized. They died less than half a kilometer from the shore. That's less than a quarter of a mile. Witnesses said there was no emergency care available at the shore when survivors were brought back. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
At 11:02, it is 82 and sunny downtown at the Arch. I'm Brad Choate, KMOX News. As heard on ABC, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina died overnight. Members of the Missouri and Illinois Senate delegation jumped on social media this morning to react to his passing. Missouri Republican Eric Schmidt says Graham was unquestionably the life of any dinner, calling him a one-of-a-kind. Schmidt sends prayers to the senator's family and friends. Illinois Democrat Dick Durbin says he'll never forget Graham reaching across the aisle to co-sponsor his DREAM Act, realizing how important it was to him. Durbin says Graham could be a fierce Republican partisan one day and then a key bipartisan ally the next. The two just returned from a trip to Turkey for the NATO summit. More than 350 people have been rescued and one death reported following catastrophic flooding in southeast Missouri.
A woman named Faith Gregory found dead by volunteer searchers in Crawford County. She had been swept away from her home near Hoosiaw Creek on Friday morning during the initial wave of storms. Black Hawk helicopters, Missouri National Guard evacuating some of the 202 young campers and counselors who were stranded at Camp Tom Sauk in Reynolds County. Everyone made it out of there okay. At the Bearcat Getaway Campground in Reynolds County, rescue crews faced one of the day's most urgent calls. Highway Patrol Sergeant Eddie Young says roads to the campground were already impassable when the situation escalated.
At one point, the campers were on top of a building, and then that building collapsed, putting them in the water. I received information that those campers were safe and had been rescued.
As many as 20 people were estimated to be involved there, all accounted for. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
There's been an on-the-job death at U.S. Steel's cold mill in Granite City. The Labor Tribune news outlet reports United Steelworkers Union Local 1899's leader says it happened Saturday, and he was told it was an electrical incident. U.S. Steel issued a statement that says, quote, "There are no words that can capture the grief we feel for our colleague, their family, their friends, and co-workers. Our focus right now is supporting those affected. We'll work to understand the circumstances and cooperate fully with all investigations. No other injuries reported." Now for the forecast.
Sunshine mixed with some clouds today. Our afternoon high 88, mainly clear and relatively comfortable tonight. Lows in the upper 60s. Tomorrow a nice day with plenty of sunshine, the high 88. Tuesday mostly sunny, very warm and rather humid, the high 91. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 81 degrees in Florissant, 80 in St. Peters, 82 and sunny downtown at the Arch. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
From KMOX Sports, this is the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Mike Claiborne, filling in for Tom Ackerman here on the Sports on a Sunday morning. We're here at the ballpark where the Cardinals play their final game before the All-Star break. They take on the Atlanta Braves. The Redbirds have been good the last 2 days against the Braves, winning last night. I love it because it took 2 hours and 19 minutes. We stuck around a while on Friday night, and ironically, the rain delay took longer than the game to be played. So the Redbirds are going not only for the sweep, but certainly they want to go into the All-Star break on a positive note. So we'll have some action here this afternoon. John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, and Ricky Horton will have the call, and we're looking forward to having a fun afternoon. And if you have nothing going on, come on down to the ballpark. It's a fun time to be down here. We have some All-Stars on display. We have a lot of fun things for the kids this afternoon at the ballpark. So if you're looking for something to do, it's not going to cost you a lot. Come on down and hang out with us here at Busch Stadium as the Cardinals finish up things with the Atlanta Braves, and they go into the All-Star break. That includes Oliver Marmol. He's going to be on the coaching staff. You know about Jordan Walker. He's going to be part of it as far as being an All-Star and also in the Home Run Derby competition. Ivan Herrera is going to be in the All-Star game as well, and Cleninger Terran, who is one of the bullpen participants. He's been with the Cardinals for, at least 10 years, maybe a little longer. He will be throwing batting practice or throwing to Jordan Walker in the Home Run Derby competition. Had a chance to visit with him yesterday. And don't forget, today if you come down, the proceeds from your ticket will go, part of the proceeds from your ticket will go to the relief effort that is ongoing in Venezuela for all the earthquake victims. We have a couple of players on the team that are from Venezuela, and the Cardinals and Cardinals Care, and certainly Major League Baseball. Everybody's coming together to try and give as much help and relief as they can. I know Yadier Molina, he's even there making sure that the aid gets to the right people at the right time in the right place. So come on down and help out a great cause, helping out the good folks from the country of Venezuela who are dealing with a tough situation. All right, this hour, we have a chance to visit with I love this guy's title. If I come back in another life, I think I'd like to have the title of Chief Experience Officer. We're talking about Matt Sebek from St. Louis City SC, our great soccer team here in St. Louis. We're going to talk with Matt here in just a bit because they're going to get started this week as soccer will come back to reality here in the United States now that the World Cup is winding down. We'll have a chance to talk to Matt. Chaim Bloom will join us. We'll talk a little bit about the ball club and where we go from here as we're at the All-Star break. As you know, the draft took place yesterday and still ongoing this afternoon. And we'll talk a little bit about that and what that looks like down the road. And sports on a Sunday morning would be incomplete if you don't have Bernie Miklasz. My good friend Bernie and I have been at this a long, long time. And anytime I get a chance to share a microphone with him, I always have a good time. So we'll have a chance to get Bernie's thoughts on just about anything. And that's the cool thing about Bernie. You can talk to Bernie whether it's baseball or hockey or music or movies, you name it. I have my ultimate trivia team. You have these trivia nights, and I enjoy those. But my all-time team would include Bernie, Earl Austin Jr., Bob Ramsey, Chip Carey. I'll go back and forth and get the beer and pizza or whatever they're serving. And there's one other person that I would have, but Bernie would definitely be on that team. So we have to find the right event that we'll all show up and our schedules work. We can go in and just do some damage. I would look forward to that. Just if nothing more, the fellowship of hanging out with some of my friends. That's always a good time. Joe Pott, you a trivia guy? Joe Pott says he's in now on the trivia. Let me turn your microphone. Hold on. I got all these. Which one are you? Is that you?
I think this is 4.
4? How about that?
Got me on 4.
There
right
you
now.
go.
There
You a trivia guy?
I'm a trivia guy.
All right. So we'll give you an audition and see if you can run with us one night.
Okay.
We just don't know where we're going. I went to a trivia thing about a month and a half ago, and the person who invited me to come probably, well, I don't know why they even I don't even know why they even showed up because they provided nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Oh, come on.
Although, I'll tell you, here's a great trivia story. You remember they used to have the deal at the Enterprise Center? They had this big
sports trivia spectacular.
So
I participated 4 times.
I got the call at the last minute, and Earl was part of the team. I think we were short. We were even shorter because 2 guys that were part of our team didn't provide anything. So at the break, the one guy said, "Hey, I'm going to get some beer and some. You guys want anything?" I said, "Hey, why don't you bring back some answers?"
The answer.
bring back some answers. And we finished 3rd that night. And had we had just a little bit, could have won that thing. But I didn't realize, there goes Chip Carey. I didn't realize that at the time, and there were ringers there. There were guys that were coming in from around the country.
Trained for this.
Yes.
They would have tables would have a horse racing expert, for example.
Yeah,
yes.
and this group, the guys who won it were from Indianapolis. Remember, it was always on President's Day weekend. So they came over, and back then they gave away some great prizes, like round-trip tickets to anywhere you wanted to go.
And the winners got, like, season tickets for the Cardinals, the Blues.
It was a great
When I was
event.
with the Gateway Grizzlies, we used to donate season tickets for that, so we always had a table. So it was great fun.
I loved it.
Yep.
And then I'm that trivia guy. I'm a Jeopardy guy. I watch Jeopardy, whenever I can, as much as I can. So I kind of like it. But when you get in that environment, you realize how stupid you really are.
Right?
You just like
feel small real quick.
They roll out some categories now. Wait a minute, I'm in the sports business and don't know. I got no idea what the hell they're talking about. So, all right. So you will be part of our traveling squad if we find the right trivia event.
I would like that. I'll come off the bench. I'm not scared. That's great.
I'll go get the beer. I mean, if you have more answers than me, I'm good with that, man. I'll just sit back and watch. But I went to this one event, man, and I just looked at this person and I said, "What are you here for?"
Right?
Because you're not. You're nice. I mean, you're a good person, but there's not an answer. No, they did come up with one answer. But then we were, okay, so here, to show you how I'm a stickler about this. So the first ballpark the Cardinals played in is what?
It's I know the name of it, and it's not coming to me.
This is great. You'd be great on the trivia.
Prior to Sportsman's Park.
Correct.
And I don't.
Robinson Field.
Okay.
Robinson.
Without the N.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Where Beaumont High School is.
Got it.
And that's the real answer. But they use Sportsman's Park. And I was about to have a Senate hearing committee take place.
Right.
I was like raising my and so they were no, that's not the answer. And I said, I don't know a lot about a lot of things, but I kind of know a little bit about the Cardinals. And I'm trying to, I don't want to be a jerk about it.
I know that's the other thing. It gets political, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be the guy
Mr. Know-it-all here.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
And I'm still miffed about it, as you can tell.
You should be.
But because we didn't have a good team, it didn't make a difference at the end of the night. All right, we're going to come back and talk to a guy. I want his job. I don't want his job because he obviously does a good job. I want to be the chief experience officer for something.
It's a good title.
I like the title. Matt Sebek is going to join us here in just a bit. This is Sports on a Sunday morning from the ballpark. We'll be back with more right here on The Voice, KMOX.
It's Tom Ackerman. I talk about them a lot. That's because I believe in them very strongly. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best. You see, when it comes to outdoor living, here in St. Louis, we love to hang out on the patio or the deck or take a look at the new sunroom we just built, new screen room. How about a brand new fence for the backyard? Chesterfield Fence and Deck can handle all of that for you with ease. They're going to make it easy for you. They're going to work within your budget and your dreams as to how your outdoor space should look. They have the best warranties, the best products, the best people, and they've been doing it since 1968. Talk about great experience. Mention me, Tom Ackerman. You'll receive 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Check out their showroom in Chesterfield Valley or visit them online, chesterfieldfence.com. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
We are on the biggest stage in the world right now, and I am talking about soccer. The whole world is paying attention, and FanDuel has decided to change the game. And as you know, if you bet soccer, that sometimes your player gets subbed out, and then what happens? Your bet goes with them. Well, FanDuel says we have a better way to do it. That's not happening anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues with the substitute. So you are still in it until the final whistle. Just go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started now. I've been telling you about this app for many, many months. I love using it. It's easy to use. All the information you need is right there. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
No! USA is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
From KMOX Sports, this is the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio.
Welcome back, everybody. We continue with sports on a Sunday morning. I'm Mike Claiborne. We're at the ballpark. Cardinals and the Atlanta Braves take each other on for the final time before the All-Star break. But we're going to talk a little soccer. And this guy, as I mentioned earlier, has the best title going right now. He is the Chief Experience Officer for SC City here in St. Louis, and he is Matt Sebek. Matt, how are you, sir? And congratulations on such an illustrious title.
Clay, it's always good to be with you. What a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Hey, soccer is big these days, and I know while everybody's following the World Cup, we still have some local activity taking place in St. Louis, and it starts to heat up again on Thursday.
Yeah, man, it's been a while since we've had a home game. Obviously, we've taken a summer break while the World Cup's been going on, but we want to ride, the wave of that excitement. I think everyone's been talking soccer, making their picks around the dinner table. So our season, the second half of our season kicks back off next Thursday, actually, against our rival in Sporting Kansas City. So we're pumped to get cooking again.
Hey, what's the impact been for you and the club with regard to World Cup? I know everybody's talking about it, and we're seeing watch parties at Ballpark Village and everywhere else around town. Obviously, people are paying attention. But what's it been like for the club, and what are you expecting come Thursday as far as a turnout and just the overall interest?
It's been amazing. Our league was literally founded in '94 after the World Cup was here the last time. So to think about, how far the game has come in this country, we're ready to ride that wave again. So, our games at Energizer Park have been loud and noisy and sold out, and we've been very, very fortunate the first 4 years in our league. But, we just want to introduce the game to more casual sports fans. So, maybe if you grew up baseball, football, hockey fan, that's great. But hopefully if you're talking soccer this summer and that we've got a professional sports team here in town that you can come check out, we're ready and willing for those new fans to come join the party.
Yeah, that's a great point you make about the new fans because, I'm hanging out with some people who wouldn't know a soccer. They don't know the game. And now all of a sudden they are thoroughly immersed into what's going on. And I'm hoping that it continues, on a local front. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way. But because like World Cup, this is the best of the best. Okay. And the way the tournament is set up and while it may have its issues when it comes to officiating and everything else, I think the fun thing about it is when you get a person who's new to the game and try and explain the nuances of the game, and all of a sudden they start to feel like they can be almost, I won't say expert, but they don't feel like they're the dumbest person in the room because, they think it's a simple game, but it's really not when you look at it, the ins and outs of it. But they really feel like they have a seat at the table now. And I think that's a fun thing, whether it's soccer or any other sport. But right now, because of World Cup and what you guys are doing, it's got to be a blast to be able to reintroduce the game here locally.
No doubt, yeah. I mean, as you said, Clay, it's like the intricacy of the game, very similar to chess and just how these things are set up and how you move the pieces around. But I think, beyond that, I think what people have been immersed with the last, month here during the World Cup is the passion of the fan bases. And obviously this is at an international level, but, this is a game that, doesn't stop. It has a running clock. There's usually always something going on, high speed, high energy, and to see the passion from these fan bases, you can get a taste of that here now in Major League Soccer and now with City here locally in St. Louis. So it's pretty exciting for us for sure.
All right. We're visiting with Matt Sebek, the Chief Entertainment. What's that title again, Matt? Because I love it, man. Chief Experience Officer. I love it, man.
There you go.
When I get to heaven, hopefully they'll have a position for me there. Talk to me about the media match, man. Words getting around town or basically around the country with regard to your participation in the media match.
Yeah, I just try to stay within myself one day at a time.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it was
all the players speak here. Okay, I got you.
That's right. I'm gonna duck that question, Clay. No, it was a blast. With the summer being open for us, we found ways to use our field. We hosted an international friendly with Bosnia and Panama, but we did some fun things as well. With kids around town, and of course, yes, we hosted the local media out for a little scrimmage on the field of Energizer Park. It was a blast.
Well, I've been part of we used to have a media pickup league. I won't call it a league. The media would play pickup basketball at the old gym at St. Louis U. That was a riot. And then on game days for the Blues, we would have a media skate right after the morning skate. If you want to see comedy, that was priceless as well. So now we've transitioned to soccer now.
That's right.
I need to be aware when this takes place again, just to come out, just for my own personal vision, to be able to say, I've seen this take place. So you got to let me know when this happens again. And not that I'm participating. Now, I'll hand out water or whatever. I'll squirt somebody, but I'm not going to be – I'm not running up and down the field. That's not me.
You need to get out there, Claibs. But
I tell you what, I'll be the assistant goalie. So we'll have two guys in the net where I can just stand there and hopefully he'll make the save.
I like that. Well,
I'm just trying to change the rules.
No Achilles and hamstrings were snapped this year, so that's a win for everybody.
Listen, man, I'm already on one hip right now, so I don't need to go down with something like that, man, and trying to explain that. All right, tell me about Thursday, when, where, and where can I get tickets, because I'll have friends in town looking for some more soccer.
Yeah, Thursday we're back in action. So St. Louis City back at Energizer Park, home against Sporting KC, our rival. It's going to be a blast. Kicks off at 7:30. If you have tickets, it's going to be a party downtown. Other than that, you can watch that game and all of our games on Apple TV. So it's going to be great.
Well, it sounds like it's a blast. Everybody who goes there always comes home saying it was a fun event, and you guys are doing a terrific job. Keep up the great work, and hopefully City will get off on the right foot, and we'll find ourselves deep in postseason somewhere down the road.
Appreciate you, Claves.
All right, Matt. Thank you for your time. He's Matt Sebek. He is the Chief Entertainment Officer.
Experience.
I love that job, man. I want that job. I'm a chief experience officer is who he is. All right, when we come back, Chaim Bloom's going to talk a little baseball with us. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're having a good time here on sports on a Sunday morning on The Voice, KMOX.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
KMOX Weekend at your service. Sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
Retirement. Exciting in one way, scary in others. How do you find the financial advisor that covers all the bases? Join Greg Ayler Saturdays at 1 on Fire Your Financial Advisor.
Well, Lorenzo, the pitch looked good.
Yeah, so green.
USA keeper was decent enough.
Didn't have much to do.
99 minutes.
Not a single goal. Well, Bet365 sure came through, though. I bet $10 and got $150 in bonus bets just for signing up.
At least someone scored.
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
For men over 50, staying healthy shouldn't feel complicated. Neovitin Men's 50 Plus is a doctor-formulated daily multivitamin designed to support everyday wellness with just 2 tablets a day. You can subscribe at neovitin.com for convenient monthly delivery right to your door, or find Neovitin Men's 50 Plus at your local Deerbirds or Schnucks. All Neovitin vitamins are manufactured in a GMP-certified facility in the USA and are designed for real, everyday routines. Make nutrition easy with Neovitin Men's 50 Plus.
Hey, book lovers, coming up on Tuesday at noon on Book Chat with Debbie Monterey and St. Louis Public Library. It's our monthly author chat, and I'll be checking in with Donna Everhart, author of the novel Women of a Promiscuous Nature, inspired by the little-known American Plan, an actual government program created to combat venereal disease that allowed the government to lock women up for being promiscuous and subject them to involuntary medical treatments. It is fascinating, but you can only listen in if you're a member of Book Chat, so join us today on Facebook.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The cookie cutter approach works well if you're making cookies, but not so well when you're trying to plan for retirement. If you want a customized income strategy, call Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group today, 636-230-8824, or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Hi, this is Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This is it. Make no mistake, this is your last chance to live in the beautiful Cotterville Trails. We have a wide variety of market-ready homes and several home sites on a cul-de-sac that back to common ground. Save over $58,000 plus special 4.75% financing on select homes for qualified buyers. Visit McKelveyhomes.com. Isn't it Time to move up to McKelvey.
From KMOX Sports, this is the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio.
Welcome back, everybody. We continue with sports on a Sunday morning. I'm Mike Claiborne, and we are here at the ballpark where the Cardinals take on the Atlanta Braves here in just a bit. Final game before we go to the All-Star break. A lot going on here at the ballpark, including the amateur draft, and with us is the president of baseball operations. He's Chaim Bloom. And Chaim, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. It's good to be with you this morning.
Well, let me ask you, yesterday the draft was underway, and you've been in the draft room before. What was it like for you yesterday to be in the room where everything was ongoing as president of baseball operations? Were you that guy that was sitting there high-fiving everybody, or did you just sit in the back of the room and just say, hey, let me know who these guys are and we'll figure out what to do with them later?
No, it was fun to be a little closer to the middle of the action after a couple-year break from that. But honestly, really the draft is about our scouting staff, the scouting department. I feel, my role is really just to, as with everybody here, just to try to bring a different perspective, to ask good questions, to make sure our process is moving forward in as many directions as it can be. But to me, in this role, if you're trying to, super scout, so to speak, and you come over top of your people that have been spending years literally assessing these players, in my view, you're probably doing it wrong. It's more about asking the right questions and making sure we're in as good a position as we can be to make the best decisions for the organization.
Hey, how much has the draft changed from when you first got in the business? Because we were talking yesterday about how the combine in baseball is now the big deal. And I'm saying to myself, the NFL and other sports have been doing this for at least 40 years. And baseball has now got on board. And I think it's a plus in how you can evaluate and really get a feel for the assets that are going to be available to you. But how much has it changed for you since you've been in the business?
In some ways, it hasn't changed much, and then there's others where it's changed a lot. I mean, I actually think that probably the best value of the combine is just making sure that there's uniform and somewhat organized access to these guys as people, where our staff gets a chance to sit with them, talk with them. You can sit from afar and say, well, if this player could do this differently or we can make that adjustment. You get a chance to talk to these kids about whether that's something they have interest in doing. You get a sense of how their mind works, what makes them tick, and I think that's really valuable. But, the changing landscape of amateur baseball, that's been a huge difference over the course of my career. And then certainly from a front office perspective, we just have so many more sources of information that you try to incorporate into a decision. And that, to me, is one of the biggest challenges because, like so many things we do in this game, you rarely suffer from a lack of information. We have a ton of information. The key is sorting through what's actually important for the decision and making sure that you have a good process to combine it all and make good decisions rather than just have everybody screaming at you at once. So that's really been where I think teams have been able to separate themselves, including the Cardinals over the years, is find the best ways to sort through all the available information. But I'll tell you, the amount of stuff that's out there that can at least theoretically help you with a decision has just mushroomed. It's increased so much over the course of my career to date.
Yeah, and I would think that you have to probably have a filter here at some point with regard to all the information because, as you mentioned, there's so much that your head could explode. And while it's good information, some of it doesn't always need to be applied to every individual. Maybe there's some sections that I would think people would have more of an interest in than others. But I also think there's got to be someone who's got to have a filter on this whole thing because you can get overwhelmed before you know it, and then all of a sudden you're standing around waiting, wondering what just happened. So how do you go about making sure that there's a legitimate filter for everybody within the organization and what swim lanes they need to be in?
Yeah, and when we talk about process, that's what we're talking about. There's hundreds, even sometimes thousands of players that we're going to assess, and there's literally hundreds of pieces of information on each one of them. So if you don't have a process that you can really apply across the whole board and making sure that everybody who has a chance to weigh in on this player or has a chance to bring information to the table that can help you best evaluate the player, that you have some kind of process for combining it all. And you try to systematize as much of that as possible. You try to make it as uniform. You try to make it as evidence-based as you can. And then, it gets down to then layering on good old critical thinking and common sense and using a good critical thinking process to just make sure we're in position on every player. And then ultimately, it funnels up to somebody to make a decision. But that when we talk about process, that's what we talk about, where it's not just willy-nilly throwing darts at a board or just, the information I listened to today is going to be dependent on what mood I woke up in or what I had for breakfast. It's just trying to be more consistent with all that.
All right. You've been in draft rooms before in your life. Give me the one player that when they came to you and said, Chaim, what do you think? Give me the one guy that you thought more of than maybe somebody else did, and this person has gone on to have a pretty good career.
Well, that's a good one. I mean, you know what? I wish you had given me a little lead time on this one. I probably could have dug through the memory bank. I've been so focused on just learning about this year's class. One that actually stands out to me, we go way back. I'll actually give you a couple from early. My first draft room I was in was in 2005 when I was interning with the Rays. But after that, the next 2 years, we were able to make a couple late-round picks. Credit to R.J. Harrison, who was the Rays scouting director at that time. Desmond Jennings in the 10th round in 2006, and Matt Moore in the 7th round in 2007. And both of those were guys that, when you heard them discussed in the room and you heard the passion behind it, this was a different era, like we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have access to some of the information that we have today. But it always starts with the area scout doing a good job on the player and the human being. And, both of those guys ended up really helping us win. They helped us in the postseason. Matt Moore, I think he's still playing. I saw he came back and signed with somebody this year. And at one point was, one of the shining young players in this game. So it all starts with the boots on the ground. It starts with area scouts doing their homework. And so much of what an area scout can do to put you in position to draft a player isn't just their assessment of talent. It's really knowing the kid. And, when you're making these decisions, you want to make sure you know who's walking in the door. And so much of that starts with the area scout.
Moving forward to your ball club as we speak, final game before we go into the All-Star break. Give me your thoughts on your team. You're going to be over 500 at the break. That's always a good sign. But overall, give me your thoughts on what you've seen and what you're looking forward to seeing beyond the All-Star break.
Well, one of the coolest things about being around this group, they have shown again and again this season they can take a punch. Right. There's been some times when, including this week, when we've had some tough stretches, and then they come back and they win the first two games of this Atlanta series, and hopefully we can take the third one today. But that you don't take that for granted, especially with a young team, especially this close to the All-Star break, where it's easy to start looking ahead to the break and just kind of slide into it, lose another series. We didn't do that. And that's a credit to the group. It's a credit to Ollie and the staff, the culture that these guys are building. We've talked about it. You and I have. I've talked about it with a lot of people since the fall, where we wanted this relatively young group to define it for themselves, to set their own standard and own it for themselves. And they are doing that, and they're really developing some things culturally that hopefully we keep doing them. They become habits. They just become what the standard is in this organization. And that's the thing that stands out to me the most. We had tough, long stretch, including that doubleheader going into the break. We're going to have 20 in a row coming out of the break. So hopefully we pick up right where we left off in terms of these guys just coming in every day focused on the work.
And with the All-Star break in front of us, I get the feeling that Chaim Bloom's phone's going to start ringing about making deals and inquiring about your ball club and some of the players you have, whether it's on the big league roster or the minor league roster. You ready for that? Because it's going to ring, and you may be making some phone calls too. Who knows?
Well, we all will. It's exciting. My experience ever since the draft moved back to right around this time of year, usually there's a little bit of a understood non-aggression pact for a few days over the All-Star break so that everybody can take a breath and remind our families that we love them. And then once we start playing again, in my experience, the phone calls start picking up, and it'll just increase and increase in terms of the intensity as we get closer to August 3rd.
And you will do what during the All-Star break?
Well, my family is now just weeks away from actually picking up and moving to St. Louis. So I will be back in Boston during that little break before the phone starts ringing, just trying to make sure I'm doing my part to get everything squared away and help with that pack and move, because I won't actually be able to be there because of the trade deadline when it's happening. So I'm going to try to do my part a little bit in advance and make sure everything's squared away, and then get back and I have a little bit of brief detour in Florida, just saying hi to our new guys down there that come in from the draft, and then get back here when the club comes back and hunker down for the deadline.
Well, we're going to try and get some scouting reports on how helpful you were for the move, and just see if you're a good Packer and all that, or maybe you'll be one of those guys that's smart enough to step back and have somebody else do it on a professional level. So we'll find out the real deal on whether we can count on you in those sort of situations here in the very future.
Well, I'm not going to lie, we are hiring help for it, but I will do my part.
That's what I'm talking about.
The organization of it,
there you go.
A team effort. It's a
well,
team
you know
effort.
what? If there's a loose powder pan somewhere, you can handle that. But we want to make sure that the real stuff is handled by the trained professionals who do this on a daily basis.
That is important. You got to know your limits. Like
there
you
go.
You got to delegate sometimes. Hey, Claves, can I just, while we're on the subject of area scouts, something I actually do want to share. It's a nice little linkage between what we're talking about on the big league level and what we're talking about in the draft. And actually kind of a sad note, and for me, sort of an extra personal layer to it, because it applies tangentially to Riley O'Brien. But as you may know, someone we talked about, remembered in our room today, when Jordan Walker was drafted, Charles Peterson, the area scout, who I did not get a chance to meet, unfortunately passed away not long after that. And, he has an all-star now with Jordan. And, that's what we talked about. And the link for me, too, when Riley O'Brien was drafted by the Rays, the area scout that signed him, Paul Kirsch, also sadly left us way too young. And, when we say this is what it's about, I've talked to different people in this organization who have told me what a mentor Charles Peterson was to them. And when you talk about leaving your fingerprints on somebody, I got a chance. It was cool with the draft when we were able to announce JJ's deal that our scouts were in, and we were able to shout out TC Calhoun, who's his area scout. These guys putting us in position not just to bring great players in the organization, but great human beings. That's what it's all about. The work you do, you never know when it's going to have an impact. And, you hope you're around for that impact. But even if not, it's cool to think that people are doing work that, even if they're no longer with us, the impact they have on other people, the impact they have in the organization can still go forward. So it's a pretty cool kind of link between the draft process and what we're going to see tomorrow in the Derby, and then on the big stage in Philly on Tuesday night.
Well said, Chaim. That was a fun day to have TC and everybody else in the organization there for JJ signing, and it just says a lot about this being the family. I mean, we're all in this together, and to watch guys ascend in that manner, and for the person who saw him first and got him signed, it really had to mean something to him to fortunately be there, thanks to the draft and everything else, for him to be there, to be part of that, just to say mission accomplished. I mean, that had to mean a lot to him, I'm sure.
Oh, it's cool that it worked out that way, and hopefully, that's one mission accomplished, to be able to bring that talent in the organization. We have a lot of people in player development who are really proud of JJ, and now this is just the beginning of the bigger mission for him to really build his legacy here and help push us towards the championship.
Chaim, as always, it's great to visit with you. We appreciate the time, and a bit of advice on the move: stay away from the plates and the glasses. Okay, let somebody else do that.
Sir.
All right, we don't need to come up short here. Okay, I mean, we want to make sure.
Yeah, if we're gonna use our medical team, we just want it to be on physicals and potential acquisitions. We don't want it to have to be for the front office. I hear you.
There you go. Hey, again, as always, sir, thank you. Enjoy the break, and we'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good, Claves.
Thank you, sir.
To catch up with you.
You too. He's Chaim Bloom. He's the president of baseball operations for the St. Louis Cardinals, and we will come back in just a bit. My favorite time of the show is about to take place, because I'm going to have a chance to talk to Bernie Miklasz, as you will have a chance to hear him, and he comes your way next right here on The Voice, KMOX.
It's Tom Ackerman. Circa Sports is the best sports app. Absolutely love it. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting. It's sports betting the way it should be. This is a big week for soccer. Big week for soccer. It is absolutely fun. And Circa Sports is all over it. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service. That's probably what I love about it the most, is that Circa Sports is very customer-friendly. It's very easy to use. Whether you're looking for futures, you're looking for props on players, Circa Sports has you covered. Soccer is so much more fun by using the Circa Sports app. I think you're going to really enjoy it. All you have to do is download the Circa Sports app, Circa, C-I-R-C-A, Sports is the app, or visit circasports.com today. Circa Sports. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Seeing more bees, wasps, or hornets around your home? Carpenter bees can damage wood structures, and wasps and hornets often hide nests inside walls. Don't risk getting stung. Let Rottler Pest Solutions protect your home and family. Call Rottler today or visit rottler.com.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler here for FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of KMOX. And I like to joke, and I say it all the time, like my work with FanDuel Sportsbook goes well beyond the time that it came online in Missouri. I used to have to travel to play. Not anymore. Now I get to play at home, and you can too, whether it's baseball season, whether it's hockey, basketball, football, and now soccer. On the biggest stage of the world, FanDuel is stepping up. They are changing the game because sometimes the player you've got gets subbed off and your bet goes off with them, but not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. So that's right. So if your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you're still in it to the final whistle. No need to go anywhere. You just hang in there. You still got your shot. But visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to get yourself started. Super easy to do. And let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Just remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Bernie Miklasz Report on KMOX is sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer.
From KMOX Sports, this is the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio.
We are in the home stretch, and what a better way to end sports on a Sunday morning than talking to my good friend Bernie Miklasz, who you can hear on KMOX. You can read him as well on Sports Central STL, and he's everywhere. But he's my friend, and it's good to talk to him on a Sunday morning. Bernie, how are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. It's always a treat to get a chance to hang out with you on the air, or actually hang out with you anytime. But yeah, good to be on, man.
Man, it's been a fun time this week. I mean, we have World Cup, we have Cardinal baseball, the draft. People start to talk about football down the street. A good time to kind of be a sports fan in St. Louis.
It is, and I think the World Cup semifinals are just in terms of name brand clubs, the most prestigious clubs. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I think the Cardinals continue to be very interesting, very intriguing. Still doing better than just about everybody in the industry thought. And even I think this week, Claibs, is just the latest example of what we're talking about. I mean, they come off of a good road trip. They go 4-2 in Atlanta and Wrigley Field. They come home and they take it on the chin, 4 times in 5 days against the Brewers. And that wasn't pleasant. That was pretty, it was tough, right?
Ouch.
So what happens? Yeah. Atlanta comes in, and the way the Cardinals took the first 2 games, and they've already won the series. Hopefully they'll get the sweep today. But, we all know Busch Stadium's playing hard. We all know it's tough for the hitters. Cardinals offense doesn't score a lot of runs at home compared to the road. But so how do they win? They win even though they score only 5 runs in 2 games. They get 2 dubs out of that because their pitching was exceptional in the first 2 games. So my point is like every time people like me, because I admit it, I get some doubt setting in, saying, well, this has been great, but maybe it's starting to come back to earth. Every time I get those thoughts in my head, they come back and they counterpunch and they straighten themselves out. I got a lot of respect for that team, a lot of respect.
Yeah, and I agree with you because just when I think they're turning the corner, you're right, they get punched in the gut. My feeling at this point is if you're going to be in this thing, you got to be 10 games over 500. And they keep knocking at that door, and just when they get to 8 or 9, then they get set back. And I think that this next stretch where we play 20 in a row is going to tell you who they are. And it's also going to tell you who they are at the deadline as well. I know that, there are some that say, we got to move this guy and we got to move that guy. I don't know if you have that much to move that's going to get you something that's quality in return. You can get players back, but I think you're in a position now where if you're going to get players back, they have to be able to contribute next year, not down the road, not double-A prospects or suspects. These guys, when they come to spring training, they're competing for a legitimate job.
You make a good point, and I've been giving this more thought. I mean, the only thing that I'm comfortable saying right now about what's going to happen is that I don't think Chaim Bloom's going to go for the short-term money where he would have to give up a prospect or 2 that they really like just to rent a guy. I mean, I see people suggesting that, and I'm like, have you paid attention to Chaim Bloom at all? The first 5 million times he said they're not doing anything like that. It's they want to keep their future intact. I wonder though if there is some creativity that could surface where you make the kind of trade where you do flip one of your guys in demand. And let's go hypothetically with Lars Nootbaar, Dustin May, use them as examples.
Yeah.
But you flip them in a way where you get major league ready help that can help you this year, but the players are controllable and they can help you win and be a big part of your team in 27, 28, maybe 29, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I would buy into that for sure. And I think that's how he's probably looking at it as well.
Right.
I
think so.
Yeah, because to go out and do the panic move and say, all right, here we go. We think we're all in. And then, we're in the wild card. Yeah, that's nice. And I appreciate it. Anytime you can play postseason. But I don't want to be in a situation where we play 2 more games in 162.
Right.
And you're not really suited for postseason. You're not there yet. So when you do it, let's make sure when you come to the party, you have everything working for you compared to just saying, hey, we made postseason. I think we've gone through that era enough to the point where that's something we don't need anymore.
100%. And let me do this, man. And my point here is not to take a shot at John Mozeliak and the previous regime. But it's also true that Chaim Bloom was hired for a reason, and Chaim Bloom brought in a bunch of new people who appear to be quite brilliant for a reason. And it's because the Cardinals were getting caught up in that very mentality that you and I agree on this. I don't really care about a wild card. I'm not excited about it. I mean, no. It's fine. If it happens naturally, fine. Might be good for some of the younger players to get that experience. But Chaim Bloom is here. It's because of Cardinals, the fact that they sort of dropped the ball on player development, especially starting pitching. where they're John Mozeliak had to go out every winter and chase pitching. You got to sign this guy, that guy. Oh, let's sign this guy, bringing them in left and right. And they haven't made a playoff for 3 years. So why in the world would we want to go back and use the same method again? I don't understand that, right?
No, that's a great point. No, I'm all in on that. You're absolutely right. If we're going to do it, let's do it the right way where we can come back with our people and not have rentals and just be there, like I said, for 2 extra games and then get wiped out. And all of a sudden we say, well, we'll get them next year. No, I don't want to get them next year. I want to get them right now, but I want to get them with our formula, our process.
Hey, you know this better than I do because you spend a lot of time with Chaim Bloom. But the one thing I am absolutely certain about this man is he's very focused, and he has his eyes, so to speak, set on the bigger prizes that are out there ahead that the Cardinals will be in position to pursue. Maybe be sooner than expected, but they're not there yet. But he ain't going to settle for chump change.
No.
He's looking for the big trophies. That's his goal. And
absolutely.
I totally approve of that.
Bernie, as always, man, it's good to visit with you. Enjoy the All-Star break, and we can see you and hear you on KMOX and also STL Sports Central and everywhere else you're around. You're the best, my friend. Enjoy the
Love you,
weekend.
my man. Thank you.
All right. He's Bernie Miklasz, and if you think this show is something, stick around, folks, because Joe Potts got something going on. It's the Cardinal pregame show, and it comes your way next right here on the Voice of the Cardinals, KMOX in St. Louis.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck taxed, your property taxed, everything you buy taxed. Missouri